Good morning. It's Wednesday. Time for the Blue Plate Special. Today I am going to attempt to make a nice creamed soup, I guess you would call it. It's going to have carrots, tomatoes, potato, celery, and leek. Alright? It's going to take 1 cup of diced carrots, 1 cup of diced potatoes, 1 cup of diced celery, 2 cups of chopped leek, and the seasonings that are going in this, hopefully I'll get them right. 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground oregano. If you were had the flaked oregano, you could probably up that a little bit, but the ground oregano is pretty compact. 1/4 teaspoon of basil and 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And let's see, what am I missing? 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes, and 1 teaspoon of minced garlic will be going into this. It's two cups of leeks are going in here, which I will be starting first. I have 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter and about a tablespoon of olive oil in there right now. I'm going to be turning the burner on. I'm going to saute the leeks till they get nice and golden. I'll sprinkle a little salt on to help pull some of the water out. And once that's done, then we'll start adding the vegetables. Also in this recipe, there's a can my day today. Tomato paste. Easy for me to say, right? And the tomatoes in here are a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. Okay, so I will try to get through this. I'm going to be starting the burner here and start sauteing. I'll put those on. We'll work our way through. There'll be some chicken stock that goes in with the vegetables once they go into the pot. This is all going to be layered, so the onions are going in first. Then we'll have some celery, potatoes, and the carrots, along with the diced tomatoes and tomato paste. And then there'll be enough of the chicken stock just to cover the veggies. And they'll all be stirred in, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil and bring it back down to a simmer. So I will be talking my way through this as I go through, and if I made any miscombobulations, I'll try to straighten them out along the way. There will be 1 can of evaporated milk going in this towards the end to get it that nice creamy texture. And the spices will all go in. I'll show you when the time that the spices go in. Basically, I'm going to do all the onions up. When they're ready, I'm going to toss the spices in, give them a quick, I'm going to put the garlic in. Then I'll toss the spices in when the garlic gives off its aroma, and then we're going to start putting the veggies and start building up the soup. So, boy, do still see him. We'll be checking off for a little bit while we're heating up the pot. Okay, the butter is melted. I'm putting in the leeks. And it's a constant job of keeping moving them around. I turn the heat down. I do not want to burn the butter. What I will do here, by the way, just in case I mentioned this, was 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter in here if I hadn't mentioned it. And I want to get my box of salt out, and I am just going to put a little bit of salt sprinkled on there to help pull some of the moisture out of the leeks. That's about it. I'm very light on the salt. When you get the soup about done, that's when you can add more pepper and more salt and all the other good stuff and bring it up to the flavor you want. This is going to take me a while to get it cooked down, and I'm going to be standing here stirring it, so I won't bore you with the stirring part. I'll be back. Okay, it's been about 8 or 9 minutes. That's what's left. Hope you can see it, of 2 cups of leeks. So it's time to move along here. have the garlic ready, have veggies ready, stock ready. So I am going to put the garlic in. Start whopping it around. And that's going to take like just about this much time. I can start to smell the garlic. When you smell the garlic aroma, alright, it's time to get a move on. So I have put all my herbs mixed and shook up in this jar to go in here. I mix those in. Alright. They're in there. The herbs are mixed in. I'm going to start with the celery. Add that. The potatoes in here. There's a little water in there, it's not going to hurt a bit. Put the carrots in here. Alright. In go the tomatoes. That's a 14.5 ounce can of diced with chilies. I'm going to be adding a can of tomato paste. Sure that camera stays on. I've had my problems. Alright, get that up. Okay. I'm just mixing it all in at the moment. And I'm thinking I may move this to a different pot. It's not quite as large here. We'll see. We'll see what's happening here. Okay. That's all in there. Now I'm going to add some beef stock. Chicken stock. All right. Stir it in. All right. Just a tad more here. Now, I'm going to be bringing this to a boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer till the vegetables are nice and soft. And I'm not going to rush it. It's only 9:36. We don't eat till lunchtime, so we're going to give this a slow cook today. He said I'll bring it up to a boil and then I'll bring it back down. So Lloyd Goosell Sr., I think we're just about where we're supposed to be at the moment. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. And it's a matter of bringing it to a boil and letting it simmer for a while, and then we'll go from there. Lloyd Goosell Sr. checking out. Well, we're about there. I don't know if I can tip this enough so you can see. It's quite thick. Time for me to start to soften it up a little bit. The heat's off, and I'm going to break it down, but I know I'm going to have to add some more liquid to it, but we got to start. This is going to take some time, so I'm going to turn the camera off for a while I whip it up. Alright, well that took a good 5 or 6 minutes to get this down to well, it's pretty good. There might be a few little chunks in there, but not too many. I'm going to put some evaporated milk in there and stir it in and see if we can't get the soup to lunchtime ready here. Okay, let's hope that works out. It's getting nice and creamy. I'm going to do a little bit more blending. Check it, flavor, see how we're doing. Clean off my spoon here and see if we need something else in here. Okay, now we have the evap in there. Not bad. I'm going to give it a little bit of a sprinkle of pepper. Just a wee bit of salt. All right. Blend that in nicely here. Whoa, look at a mess, he says. Okay. I'm going to put that on the back burner to keep it warm. We'll have it for lunch shortly. There's the consistency right there. We'll let you know how it tastes come lunchtime here. So I do South Senior checking out and cleaning up a little bit. Almost time for lunch. Well, I guess it's that time. The soup is ready. Been on the back burner very, very, very low. I'm going to give it a little stir to get it all blended in nicely, temperature-wise. Sir. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? Alright, well, the proof is going to be in the munching, so what we're going to do here with this soup, hopefully get out my ladle here. Try not to make too big a mess. Now, there may be some little chunks in here, but for the most part, I beat it pretty well. And I have my blender's a small one. All right, that's for the guest of honor. What we're going to do now is put some good old sharp Vermont cheddar cheese on the top of that. Sprinkle it around a little bit. Okay. And the pièce de résistance is plenty of bacon bits with it. You can't go wrong. Whoop! You can't go wrong with bacon bits, and I have cleaned the counter off many times. All right, well there we have it. The light's on. I'm going to go give this to the guest of honor. I'm going to pour myself a bowl here. Cheese it up. And a day without bacon. It's like a day without sunshine as far as I'm concerned. Look at that, huh? I'm not going to be cheap with the bacon. Okay, everybody. Now the camera's still working, which is amazing. Time for lunch. We'll check back with you and let you know how it came out. Well, it's time to close this out. Along with that door. The soup came out fantastic. The both really enjoyed it. Has just enough of the green chilies to let you know there's a little bit of oomph in it, but not so much that you can't eat it. It's delicious. For dessert, we're having my world famous in Berwick pumpkin pie, which is actually made with butternut squash. My recipe is online for that. We're having a little bit of good old Moose Tracks ice cream to go with it, so you can't go wrong there. One other thing is an aside, a thing that I did learn this week, and probably everybody else out there knows that. I would buy celery, put it in the refrigerator, leave it in the container it was in, tie the end off or whatever, and in a matter of a couple days it started to look pretty limp. So I went online and come to find out, if you take your celery and you wrap it up in aluminum foil, flip the ends over good, and put that in the fridge, your celery will keep, and I know it works because I tried it. So that's an aside. And aside from that, we're going to finish our dessert. Boy D. Salt Sr., checking out. Have a good day, and that soup is fantabulous.